to do with the quality of education.
Quality, that's the key.
They will be getting at the end of the day, because that has also been a concern. The kind of curriculum we run in this country, how it is really a reflection of what the society needs as it is. We recall that there was seemingly a change in the curriculum in, I think, 2023 or 2022 to situate our educational system as such that it can meet the needs of the society. But we're still seeing employers saying we do not have employable youth.
Right.
How do we address that? As much as we are looking at, giving people access to education.
Beautiful. And that goes back to autonomy, and the question of funding, aiding, science, technology, digitalization of education itself. It will determine the quality. And I think the government will need to do more in that area. It's one thing to give access. It's another thing, to look at what kind of education are we having access to. That needs to be looked into. And that's what ASU is, vanguarding. But there must be proper funding, real grants, And for a government that has chosen to say 1% of accrued taxes, revenue to the federal government will be plowed back into this kind of scheme, must also be ready to look into how the education itself, the education sector itself is funded. What are we talking? We want autonomy. Let the lecturers be better paid. Let the teachers be better paid. Then we also must go back to the foundation, the elementary, the basic education itself, which is purely in the purview of the local government. I think the government, because you look at the number of dropouts.
Right.
Look at the number of dropouts. So it's of concern, and I am happy this is coming. But another thing is, after 2 years of the loan, acquisition, obtaining it, making good use of it, you are liable to begin to pay back.
Right.
If you are not employed, what happens? And we have in America a situation where at the moment,
You're counseling.
you have 44 million people, borrowers, to the tune of $1.7 trillion, unpaid. So it's becoming a burden.
And the president,
That's why
the U.S. president actually canceled some of this loan.
Yes, canceling about 270 billion.
Right.
But that's just part of it. We are talking about 170 trillion. It's a lot of money.
Absolutely.
So I am anxious as to the Nigerian situation. Fine, this man has come with good heart. You must have access to education. That's Tinubu. He understands how himself got educated, the kind of scholarship and advantages there. Let me also sound this. We must not bury scholarship, bursaries, and grants because of this.
You think that's what some state governments would do?
Yes, that must be stated. Right. And you also know that this is just for federal government tertiary institutions.
For the first phase.
For the first phase. That dichotomy, that class distinction must not be allowed to linger on. It must be addressed.
Private schools have to be part of it.
They have to be. State schools have to be. They are Nigerian citizens. But I understand that it is just the first phase.
So we'll wait to see how the government will want to channel the second phase, who those will cover as it is. So they want to start with this ones because of the records they have on ground.
Brilliant. There must be employment. Aggressive employment generation. The government must begin that. In the construction, in IT, everywhere. Just make openings so that people who obtain loan after education must also be able to get employed. Then we'll be able to pay back the loan. Yes. It's a brilliant idea.
Because that's the concern of